I miss them all so much.
Picture your favorite childhood food items. Now try to think of the last time you saw them in your local grocery store. More likely than not, you can't remember. This has nothing to do with your memory and everything to do with the fact that food items don't always stick around forever. So here are 10 discontinued food items we miss, Part 5.
I miss them, Alfred. I miss them so much.
Urkel-Os Cereal.
Urkel-Os, delicious, but forbidden.
Cereal was already well established as the go-to breakfast food of many a child. Then, cereal companies decided to make their products pop culture themed. Grocery store aisles were filled with children begging their parents to buy them cereal based on their favorite sitcoms. One such cereal was Urkel-Os. For those of you born after 1998, who somehow haven't been subjected to reruns by nostalgic family members, Steve Urkel was a character in the sitcom Family Matters. He was your prototypical nerdy character, with big glasses and suspenders, and famous for his catchphrase, "Did I do that?" Urkel-Os looked like Fruit Loops if you removed all pieces except the pink and yellow. The cereal itself was strawberry and banana flavored, and referred to in an advertisement as a fun, circle-shaped product. Questionable marketing choices aside, the cereal had an impressive run, being discontinued 9 years after its 1991 release.
Very impressive.
Pepsi Blue.
All I want is a Pepsi.
From August 2002 to May 2004, a new drink was shelved alongside our favorite sodas. Though it bore the Pepsi logo, its flavor was quite different from the classic soft drink we know and love. Pepsi Blue's official flavor couldn't be vaguer. It was described by Pepsi as berry. Most reviews give it the more specific description of blueberry or raspberry flavored. Others, who found the drink to be nothing more than liquid sugar, described the flavor as similar to that of cotton candy, with an aftertaste more or less akin to that of a generic berry.
What is that, an aftertaste?
The drink's sickly sweetness alone sounds like grounds for discontinuation, but that's not all there is to it. Fun fact, the drink's bright blue color, not its natural look. Pepsi Blue achieved its coloration from an agent called Blue 1. This dye was actually banned in several countries, and its use in this drink started a massive controversy. This, combined with the poor marketing that led to less than impressive sales, meant bye-bye Pepsi Blue. Though it was discontinued in North American markets, Pepsi Blue can still be found in several other countries.
That's great news.
Ben & Jerry's Crème Brûlée.
Well, I guess we won't be having creme brulee tonight.
Ben & Jerry's has a vast and wide variety of flavors to choose from. In fact, that's part of the charm when eating Ben & Jerry's ice cream, choosing one of the seemingly endless flavor options. With so many flavor options, that also means many discontinued flavors. Ben & Jerry's Crème Brûlée ice cream was one of the more popular flavors to receive the axe. It was available from 2007 to 2012, and Ben & Jerry's describes the flavor as sweet custard ice cream with a caramelized sugar swirl. And boy, was it yummy.
Sounds yummy.
Sadly, it is now gone, residing only in Ben & Jerry's flavor graveyard with the rest of Ben & Jerry's discontinued flavors. Tears were shed when this one disappeared, but Ben & Jerry's offers hope. Dead and buried flavors, as Ben & Jerry's calls them, can be resurrected. That's right, you can go to the webpage of the discontinued flavor you love and click Resurrect this flavor. Ben & Jerry's does periodically re-release the resurrected flavors with the most votes. So, Ben & Jerry's Crème Brûlée ice cream, we hope we see you again someday.
Come back soon, okay?
Apple Newtons.
I love apples.
In 2012, Nabisco changed the name of their famous cookie snack from Fig Newtons to Newtons in order to encompass the other flavors they were beginning to release. The Newtons brand came to be all the way back in 1891, with its name taken from the town of Newton, Massachusetts. Originally, the brand made Fig Newtons exclusively, but now the rectangular cookies can be filled with paste made from any fruit under the sun. While their strawberry, raspberry, and mixed berry cookies have been thriving, Apple Newtons got the axe not too long after their conception. Nabisco tried to quell our outrage at the discontinuation of their Apple Newtons by releasing an apple and cinnamon flavor, but anyone who is a fan of its predecessor knows that the new iteration isn't nearly as good.
It's just not the same.
One fan recalls a favorite dessert from their childhood, which was a microwaved apple Newton served topped with vanilla ice cream. Sure, it's no apple pie, but it's still a tasty and easy-to-prepare treat. With the introduction of apple and cinnamon Newtons, the chances that Nabisco will ever bring back apple Newtons are slim to none. And so, we mourn the loss of this great snack food while settling for its cinnamon-infused counterpart.
What's that?
It's a cinnamon stick, sir.
Keebler Pizzarias.
Pizza!
Throwing it all the way back to the late 80s and early 90s, who here remembers Keebler Pizzarias? Many chip companies have tried their hand at the pizza-flavored chip, but as of now, we're still waiting for someone to pull off what Keebler did almost 30 years ago. Most pizza-flavored chips are wildly disappointing, but Pizzarias were special. They came in 3 different pizza flavors, with cheese pizza being the most popular. The chips themselves bore a strong resemblance to Doritos, but the triangle shape was to mimic the look of a slice of pizza, and the red-orange coloration was to give the appearance that they were topped in cheese and tomato sauce. Word on the street is that these chips tasted pretty much exactly like an actual slice of pizza would.
Pizza! Nutritious, delicious pizza!
It's pretty incredible that they managed to capture those flavors so well, especially since even the best chip brands have consistently failed to produce anything that tastes remotely similar to pizza. Pizzarias were rebranded by TGI Fridays, who now sells them as pizza chips, despite the fact that now, instead of being shaped like pizza slices, each chip is shaped like an entire pizza, meaning a circle. They have a very similar flavor. If you're a Pizzarias purist, you might not be a huge fan, but if you're looking to revisit a childhood favorite, ordering these pizza chips could make for a fun experience.
Sounds like fun.
E.T. cereal.
E.T. Phone home.
Remember what we said earlier about pop culture-themed cereal? It's always a hit, no matter how good the actual product is. Although we have to give it to E.T. cereal. This one we can definitely get behind. Even if you haven't seen the movie, you probably still know that Reese's Pieces are featured in E.T. the Extraterrestrial. It's a pretty mainstream reference. And it was that reference which was used to craft this delicious cereal. If you haven't guessed yet, E.T. cereal is chocolate and peanut butter flavored, just like Reese's candy.
Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces.
The puffed grain pieces were shaped like the capital letters E and T, which is an even more obvious tie-in to the film. Released in 1984, 2 years after the hit film's debut, E.T. cereal had a surprisingly short run. It was discontinued in 1986 after a mere 2 years. If this cereal were to make a comeback, it might encourage parents to introduce their kids to the film and cereal alike. Could make a great family movie night. It would be a trip down memory lane for the adults and a great experience for the kids. 'Cause let's be real here, everyone has to see E.T. at least once.
I love that little guy.
Reese's Bites.
Whoa, that's a big bite there.
Speaking of the peanut butter and chocolate combination, Reese's Bites were part of Hershey's Bites lineup, which took candies like Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Kit Kat, and Hershey Milk Chocolate Bars and released them as ball-shaped candies. In this case, Reese's Bites were chocolate-covered balls with peanut butter filling. They really weren't all that different from the original candies. Their chocolate coating might have been slightly harder, but other than that, it was basically the same. One is just smaller than the other, and as such, makes for a much better movie theater snack. The Bites candies were introduced in the late 90s and had their curtain call in 2003. Why? Because they were deemed a choking hazard.
Don't choke on anything.
As far as reasons behind discontinuation go, this is a pretty good one. After Reese's Bites came Reese's Swoops, which were pieces of Pringles-shaped chocolate drizzled with peanut butter, and after Reese's Swoops came Reese's Minis. It seems like the third time's the charm, and Minis are here to stay as the snacked-size counterpart of the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Of course, there are plenty of other Reese's products still out there as well, so luckily for us, we don't have to look too hard to get our chocolate and peanut butter fix.
Come on, man, this isn't funny. I need my fix.
Skittles Bubble Gum.
Not just gum, bubble gum.
Skittles candy had its first commercial release in 1974. They're still thriving today as one of the most popular candies in the world. Naturally, while the original candy has been going strong since its introduction, over the course of its run, many variations of the candy have been tested. Some successful, others less so. Skittles bubblegum sadly falls into the latter category. There's nothing wrong with the candy itself. In fact, it tasted incredible, and as far as bubblegum goes, it was pretty solid. despite the good reviews, it was sold for only 2 years. We're not quite sure of the reason behind its discontinuation, but the problem might have been that they did too good of a job at emulating the original Skittles candy.
Oh man, geez, seriously?
Skittles themselves already have a texture kind of similar to that of gum, and the tastes of the two candies were virtually identical. In the end, Skittles Bubble Gum was just a slightly chewier, slightly longer-lasting version. We say slightly because we all know that bubblegum always has a disappointingly short lifespan. Nothing can ever top the Skittles we know and love, so if you're given the choice between two candies that are almost exactly the same, original Skittles will win every time. It seems like Skittles Gum just wasn't meant to be.
Just isn't meant to be, right?
Slice soda.
We got the juice.
Diet too.
Slice, slice.
This soft drink is one of the longest-lasting food items on this list. Slice soda came out in 1984 and wasn't discontinued until the mid-2000s. This makes us miss it even more because we had time to get really attached. The soda came in a variety of different fruit flavors, including mandarin orange, grape, lemon lime, strawberry, pineapple, and fruit punch. Slice soda had a strong start, but its popularity gradually waned throughout its run. It wasn't hugely popular, but it maintained a strong cult following. The drink was originally owned by PepsiCo, which introduced it all the way back in 1984.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And they remained the manufacturer until it was discontinued. That said, Slice was reintroduced in the US and Canada only by a company called New Slice Ventures, who acquired the Slice soda trademark rights for those two countries. The reintroduction did feature some changes to the formula, making it lower in both sugar and calories. This will be a welcome change for some, but not so much for those looking to experience the original exactly as it was.
I don't like change. I don't like it when things change.
Bugles.
Hand me a bugle.
This General Mills snack food got its name from its distinctive shape. The hollow, cone-shaped chips are reminiscent of everyone's favorite horn, the bugle. After a test run in 1965, Bugles had their official release in 1966, alongside several other General Mills snacks, such as Pizza Spins, Whistles, and Daisies. If you don't recognize those last three names, that's perfectly understandable, since none of them made it into the 80s. Bugles alone managed to make it to the end of the century without being discontinued. However, since 2000, the snack has been discontinued in several countries worldwide thanks to declining demand.
Well, that sucks.
In some countries, like Canada and the United Kingdom, there was such an outcry when Bugles were first discontinued that they were actually brought back fairly quickly. Currently, Bugles are available in the United States, Canada, China, Denmark, Saudi Arabia, the Netherlands, and some other countries in Central America and the Caribbean. The rest of the world won't be able to get their hands on Bugles, unfortunately. That said, General Mills does license the name and shape to other manufacturers around the world, so you may be able to find something similar to Bugles in your region.
That's wonderful news.
Treat yourself to more and tap that screen for our next great video. Checking us out for the first time? Then take a second to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join our notification squad.